Welcome back to On Air BNB Football with Brandon and Bryce, Bryce and Brandon. You know how it goes by now. Thank you for coming back to watch us or listen to us, whatever you're doing on YouTube or Spotify. We appreciate it. Today we're coming at you with our best guesses as to where some of the top remaining free agents are going to land.
Before we get started,
Click the like button, click the subscribe button, and let's get into it. So, Bryce, for one of the top receivers remaining, we have Tyler Boyd. So, me personally, I have him landing on your team, the Steelers, to pair with George Pickens. Where you got him?
I wouldn't mind that at all, but I think the Lions look like a good spot for him too. They need some wide receiver 2 help. Of course, I would like to see him on the Steelers. I don't think that's going to get done, but we'll see.
You definitely need somebody, whether it's a draft or
Yeah.
another
We do need
remaining
someone, but
free agent.
I don't know. Who knows?
We'll see. Next up on the list, neither one of us really think this guy is a top remaining free agent, but he's a big name. It's Odell Beckham Jr., OBJ. Yep. So we both agreed that we have him going to Miami.
Yep.
And I'm not really sure if that's because of football or if
it's not.
It's just the parties, the nice weather, everything that goes with.
That's pretty much why.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's pretty much all there is for.
He's not the same as he used to be.
Right.
At all.
Definitely showing signs, just like another one of the receivers we got in here. But next up on the list, we're gonna move over to running back now. Guy I would personally love to have on the Chiefs, J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
Where you got him landing, Bryce?
I have him. I think I'd like him to see him in a Giants uniform. They look good. They got Singletary. They did do that, but they're two totally different backs. Two-back system is something that people like to use nowadays.
Right.
So I think he looked good in a Giants uniform.
Okay. Well, I have him landing in KC, but I only have him landing in KC because we've seen the tweets of Marquise Brown tweeting to him, where he's trying to recruit him to come to Kansas City. So I would like to see it.
I know you would.
It would be a cool backfield, him and Pop Pacheco. Next up on the list, we're gonna move over into some of the defense. A guy that used to be named Darius is now Shaq Leonard. So
Shaquille.
He signed a 1-year deal with the Eagles last year in the middle of the season, pretty much.
Wasn't really big for them at all. Just
didn't really do much.
Yeah, it hasn't really been the same.
Where do you got him landing this year?
I have him going to the Browns. They need some linebacker depth. That's something the Browns would probably do is overpay Shaquille Leonard. So
I could see it. Yeah, I mean, I have him going to the Panthers.
Okay. Yeah.
So they lost Brian Burns. They lost a couple other defensive pieces. They got a ton of money. Why not? He could just be a depth piece if nothing else. So
being a veteran guy there in the
room, the Browns, I like that too. Yeah. Honestly, that would probably be my second choice. So that, like you said, they overpay everybody, so it could definitely happen. So Jamal Adams.
Another big name that's
kind of a stunning release, in my opinion.
Well, he's not the same guy he used to be.
He's not at all. But I still think he's got some juice left.
He can still play. He's not a good cover guy though much anymore. He's kind of like a linebacker safety hybrid now.
Right.
What he does.
For Jamal Adams, I have pretty much, you could say, any defensive back lands here just because it feels like that's what the Cowboys do. It's Dallas. I think he'd fit right in. Deron Bland, Trayvon Diggs coming back, so they might feel like they need to shore it up. Plus, they didn't make a whole lot of moves this offseason. So, next up,
Quandre Diggs.
We have Quandre Diggs, who was released alongside his teammate Jamal Adams. I still feel like both of them have some juice left.
They could be solid pieces on some teams.
And they could do some recruiting, where if one lands, the other one might go along with it just to be with the past teammate. Depends if they like each other or not. I don't know. But I have Quandre landing with the Rams. It just feels like a Rams signing to me, like an older defensive back.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I have him going to the Colts. They don't have Julian Blackmon anymore. He's another free agent. Not really as big of a name as others, but there was some talk of him going to visit them possibly. So
yeah, they could pair him up with Kenny Moore and
I believe he'd be a solid piece back there for them. Yeah, he'd be solid on the Rams too.
Yeah, I mean the Rams also lost Jordan Fuller and Nick Scott,
Yeah,
some key defensive pieces, and obviously Aaron Donald's gone, so it's not to help up
yeah,
front. So they're going to need some help wherever they can
yeah.
get
Gonna
it
be
on
something in the
defense.
back end.
Next up, we're going to move to Justin Simmons. I honestly I feel like this is probably either the best or one of the best players left on this list. I know he's like 30 years old,
Yeah,
but
I think he's probably the best on this list
he's
still. Him
he's
and Tyler Boyd
got a
probably
ton
the
of
two best.
juice left. But we were looking, any possible connections for Justin Simmons, and he's got nothing. No offers,
Yeah,
no
it's
interest,
cold.
no nothing. It's just ice cold. But just because the Ravens is where I have him going, just
You.
because they lost Geno Stone, Patrick Queen. They lost some
Pittsburgh
big
guys.
defensive pieces as well. Clowney. I just feel like he would fit right in there. It's one of those. It feels like a Ravens signing, in my opinion. But where you got him going, Bryce?
Yeah, I wouldn't like to see that at all. But so, like you said, it's ice cold for him. So there's no signs of him going anywhere. So the only place I can think about he might go is like the Bills, which doesn't make any sense from a cap standpoint. But he's got no offers, so
Right.
like they're not going to sign him for a ton,
Right. If
and
if
they
he
need help.
doesn't get a ton of offers, like later, if it lasts into like training camp, he
Oh
could
yeah,
get like a vet minimum deal, something like
mm-hmm.
that,
And have
which
to
is
prove himself
insane.
again. And yeah, it's kind of crazy. But I mean, maybe there's something we don't know about his health or something like that.
Who knows? Who knows? But we're gonna move on to Michael Thomas, slant man.
It's like, man,
He's washed
Ben
for
watched
sure.
a little bit.
Injury issues. He seemed like he was a little bit solid last year, at least fantasy wise for Derek Carr and the Saints.
There are some games where you're like, oh, is he back? And nope.
Right. I have him landing with the Chargers. It was between him and Tyler Boyd. It's just I felt like the Steelers would go grab Tyler Boyd, so I'm saying that the Chargers are going to grab Michael Thomas.
Yeah, so I have him going to Baltimore. It just seems like a Baltimore move. I don't know if they learned their lesson with Odell last season, but set to grab another wide receiver because that wide receiver room isn't very good.
Right. I mean, I could
So
see the move. I mean, it's these are all guesses anyways. It's
yeah,
just you throwing something into it like that. They're going off of signing a older veteran
what
who
they usually do. Yeah,
right used to be good. I could see it. Chargers need a lot of help. No
they do.
Keenan,
Yeah, they
no
do. They
Mike,
do need
no
some wide
Mike
receiver
Williams.
help.
So replace one Mike with another. I like it. Ryan Tannehill. So where do you have him going, Bryce?
Yeah, there's a few places I could see him going, like just as a backup. But I think the Broncos seem like a good fit for him. Just something somewhere that needs a quarterback, could start some games for you. I don't think they're going to win a lot of games this year, but the Broncos look good for good fit for him.
Yeah, I mean because they don't have a high enough draft pick. It seems like they need a receiver as well,
Mm-hmm.
but they're gonna go quarterback in the draft probably.
Yeah.
Whether that's McCarthy or Penix, whoever's left, really. But I have Tannehill ending up with the Panthers. So Bryce Young, we saw last year he got killed behind the O line. Now they upped the O line, and he's still got a lot of potential left in him, Bryce Young. But if he doesn't work out and they're scrambling and everything else looks good except the quarterback, throw in Ryan Tannehill. Matt Corral left. He went to the UFL. So adding Tannehill could be a good mentor piece for Bryce Young
It could be, yeah.
and a good solid backup option. The same thing goes for the Broncos. He could mentor Jarrett Stidham. So he's still pretty young. Either way, I like both of the picks.
Yeah, he could fit well in both spots.
Right. So Stephon Gilmore, another one of the older guys. He may have a little bit of juice left, but
Still
at this
big
point,
name, though.
right, he's a big name, but at this point, it's like he's just bouncing around the league every year now.
Yeah,
it
he
feels
is.
like. Stephon Gilmore, I thought about. So Bryce, you have him going to the Patriots.
Yeah. I think he'll go back.
I
Patriots
thought
or some-
about him going to the Patriots, so
Mhm.
I obviously like that pick as well. But I also feel like it's an Eagles move to go grab him. They lost Avonte Maddox.
Yeah.
They lost Hassan Reddick. And then, obviously some of the offensive pieces. But anyways, adding Stephon Gilmore to the secondary with an aging and terrible James Bradbury and Darius Slay, who he showed signs of slowing down last year too. I think it'd be a good fit for that defense.
Yeah, it's like a move that they would
A Vic
do.
Fangio move at
Yeah,
that.
it's
By the
definitely
way.
a move that they would do. You saw what they did with, like I said, Shaq Leonard last year. It's not
Right.
something they aren't used to doing.
Right. So the next one, something we both agree on. I think everybody's gonna agree on it. Ezekiel Elliott, previous Cowboy and a future Cowboy.
Yep.
So we got him landing in Dallas. Not much to it, just because obviously the Cowboys came out, said that they had interest. Zeke said he had interest, so it's mutual, and it's gonna happen. We'll see Zeke in a Cowboys uniform with Rico Dowdle, blah blah blah. But it's not the same Zeke. So
no.
Our last player on the list is Xavier Howard. So previous Dolphins cornerback, very highly paid. Obviously took a big pay cut not having a team. So where you got him going, Bryce?
So he's from Texas. I think the Texans could go sign him.
They've been making a lot of moves. It's very possible.
Making a lot of moves. Got some cap space. They don't. I don't think they need a lot of cap space for him.
Right.
I think he'll sign a very small deal, but they need someone over across from Stingley too.
Right. I mean, it would go into my pick as well, but Xavier Howard came out and said that he'd be willing to take a pay cut to join a competitor. So obviously, that means the Bills, the Texans, the Chiefs, all that. I'm not gonna be upset if he goes to the Texans. Obviously, we're pretty high on him, so it's looking pretty good, by the way, right now.
Yes, it is.
But I have him, a sensible choice to go grab him would be the Lions. They lost Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. They need somebody to pair back there with Brian Branch and their other defensive backs. Can't remember exactly who they are, but it'd be nice to have him there. He's definitely a good piece to have. I think he's got some left in the tank. But one of my other choices was, because he's also said he's been, open to taking a pay cut to go to a contender, would be the Chiefs. And that's not just because I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm perfectly happy with our cornerbacks and defensive backs. It's just, obviously, I wouldn't mind seeing him go there. He's a good player, and if we can get him for cheap, why not? Same thing goes for the Steelers. I feel like they're going to go sign a defensive back out of free agency, whether that's Gilmore, Howard, or Jamal Adams, whoever it is. But that'd actually be a good pickup for you.
Yeah.
Anyways, that wraps it up for us today, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. YouTube, Spotify. We appreciate all the love. Help us reach our goal where we can, obviously go talk to the players and the coaches, but you, the fans, as well. And we can't do any of that without you, the fans' help. So just continue liking, continue subscribing, doing all this stuff for us. We really appreciate it. Share with everybody you know, whether they like football or not, because why, Bryce?
Because they're sure as hell going to like us.
Thank you, guys. Make sure to leave in the comments what you want to see for future videos, and we appreciate everything. Peace out, Girl Scout.